Hello again, Dragon Slayers. Let's talk about another mission. I want to talk about close formation. This mission can actually be pretty tough if you don't have a group that's coordinating together. First, let's start off with weapon recommendations. For Ranger, there's really not much to recommend on this one. You're going to want something close range to fight, so probably a machine gun. And you're going to want a really powerful sniper rifle. If you have a choice of a Stringer or a Lysander and they're both decent level, I would recommend with the Lysander, or with the Stringer rather, because the Stringer will actually disconnect you from a Retarius if it grabs you in. As far as Wing Diver goes, I would recommend a Rapier and a Monster or a good sniper rifle. Unless you have a sniper, then I would recommend a Rapier, and then I personally like the Sig Laser or a laser type weapon for energy. But you can take an Idun or just something that's medium range. And for Air Raider, depends on if you have a Fencer. If you don't have a Fencer, then I would recommend taking 2 satellite blasters and taking a helicopter that you can call right at the start of the map. Actually, if you can't call it, it's fine because there is a couple Hectors you're going to kill first anyway. But the helicopter and 2 satellite blasters. If you do have a Fencer that can use some Leviathan missiles, which is what I recommend, you want a beacon gun that has at least 7, preferably 7. I mean, you can get away with 5, but something that has more than 1 or 2 capacity. You want to shoot multiple things. So a beacon gun, and then I like taking a Proteus if you have a good Proteus available, or if you don't, then you can always take a good Bagalta that can fight medium range. And for your second weapon, I would recommend taking a stationary machine gun if you have access to a decent one. And then for Fencer, if you don't have access to an Air Raider that could do Leviathan, that can guide your Leviathan missiles, then I would recommend taking a close range weapon to fight with, whatever you feel comfortable with, whether it be a Blastal Spear Catapult or Jackhammer Shield or something close range, and then also something that's high burst damage. So for that, you can always do a hammer, a Vulcan hammer, and a catapult. You want to pretty much get in fast and do high damage and then get away. So a Vulcan hammer with a catapult, or you could even do twin blast spears for the burst damage instead of the hammer. And then if you do have an Air Raider, then I would recommend taking something for close range fighting. So, for me, I would take the Jackhammer Reflector or probably a Blast Hole and Catapult. And then your secondary, you would take 2 Leviathan missiles. And the Wild Leviathan is just pretty good for the low level. And there's also other Leviathans that are higher up, such as this one, level 34. But yeah, that's the weapon recommendations. I'm going to do a quick run through of what you would do if you don't have the ideal setup, which I'm going to show in a video in a little bit here, but let me first take a Wing Diver here just to show some things you can do at the start. Let's see, I'm going to take a Rapier and Laser, that's fine. Actually, I'll take an Idun. Okay. Now, if you don't have an Air Raider to beacon everything, which I'll show later, then you'll want to have your whole group go to the back left corner over here. So this mission has 3 Retariuses, 1, 2, and 3. When you kill those Retariuses, a bunch of greens will come out. So if you kill 1 Retarius, a big group of greens will come from that location. If you kill 2, then 2 will come out. So you want to kind of kill those when you're ready for a big wave of greens. And then of course there's Hectors, there's a couple of holes, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then a queen in the back, and I believe that is everything. Right at the start, if you go to the back left corner, this Hector right here will come to a position right at this crossway. As soon as he gets to this crossway, you can attack him because nothing else will see you. So that's the first thing you want to do, is attack him if when he's at the crossroads here, while they have a lot of health when you're playing by yourself. And then wait for the second one. This one will come as well, and once he's at this cross section, you can kill him without notifying anything. So I'm going to wait a little bit here. I like to wait till he's in that cross section of the street, and then you can attack him. And then if you have the air raider with the helicopter and the satellite blaster, then you would have him throw a helicopter on the ground here, and then I'll show you where to fly for that. So the rest of the group will be staying here, and then the air raider will take his helicopter and he'll fly over here in the corner where this crane is at. So that's why I picked a wing diver, it'd be easier just to show these things off. So over on this crane over here, you actually can see. I actually flew a little bit too close to the enemies here. Usually they won't see you. Let me see if I can recover from this. Looks like it's just some wasps. But that's the thing about this mission. If you ever do actually trigger any enemies, they will stop coming if you stop attacking. Except the Retariuses, which will keep attacking you, unfortunately. Yeah, this thing sees me too. I'm just going to restart really quick. I won't kill the 2 first Hectors, though. So, like I said, once you kill those first 2 Hectors, you have the air raider fly over to this crane, which I'll fly a little bit longer way around, so that he can see a good view on the holes. And the reason you're taking 2 satellite blasters is because he can kill all the holes by himself from a safer position, while the rest of the team will fight and defend as fast or as slow as you can handle it. So one thing you do have to be aware of, though, is once you attack that hole, a Retarius will start shooting at you. So I recommend being near your helicopter, so after you do shoot the satellite blaster, then get ready to jump in your helicopter and just fly away until it's safer to come back and do the next 2 holes. But I'm gonna fly a little higher here, and you can land right here on this thing right here with your helicopter. Just make sure you land more towards the right side, because as you get out, you'll be on the left side. So what you do is, when everyone's ready, you'll just satellite 2 holes, preferably the wasp one, which is a pretty bad one, and then a gold one, if you do have golds, which on higher difficulties. And then once you do, as soon as you satellite the 2 holes, get in your helicopter and just fly back to the back of the map. And maybe some enemies will come towards you, but not too many. Most of them will come to the people that are up front over there waiting in that corner. And so what they'll do is they'll defend over in that corner. Once you defend and everything is done, and all the enemies stop coming after you, because if you stop attacking near the holes, and the enemies will stop coming. So just kill everything that's near them, and then reset, and then you'll fly to that same place again and satellite the next 2 holes. And by doing that, it's a very safe way to make sure the holes are going to go down the first time you attack them, and it's less to having to defend. So if you don't have an air raider to satellite the holes, then you can also do another thing. You can attack those first 2 Hectors at the start, and then after you kill those, then you can shoot this Hector with a shield back here just once. Just shoot him once with the guy with the machine gun, and he'll come towards you, as well as another group of wasps, and I think some ants will come towards you. So just kill the wasps and the ants that are near you, and then kill the Hector as he comes closer to you. And by shooting that 1 Hector, you'll have more Hectors come after you as well, but just wait till they get closer to you so you don't pull anything. Because if you attack the Hectors when they're way out there, then you'll pull another group of enemies, which you don't want to do. So that allows you to clear the Hectors. And then once those Hectors are cleared out, then you can attack the first hole, which happens to be the worst one, which is the wasp one. So you'll have either a wing diver or a fencer fly in there with a rapier or the hammer or the twin spears, a high burst damage, and just trying to kill that hole as fast as possible, and then come back and help defend. If they need to do it in a couple tries, that's fine. Like if you have a ranger, you don't have a fencer or wing diver, you'll have to do it that way, where you probably have to attack it a few times and then defend. So by doing that in the front corner, you're not pulling the whole map. You're just going to pull that 1 hole, and I think you'll pull a few ants that are around the hole, and then the Retarius will have to start shooting at you too, so be careful of the Retarius. So once you kill that first hole and defend, then what I like to do personally is go down the street over there so you can see a good view at the Retarius here, and then kill that Retarius from that street down there, and then just get ready for a bunch of greens. And the benefit of being back in that corner is when you trigger the greens, they'll have to come through the buildings, which will make them a lot slower and a lot easier to kill. So if you're ever struggling with the greens, then just always go back to the corner where there's a lot of buildings, and you'll find it a lot easier to defend. So after you kill that Retarius, then you go to the next hole. So this one over here, just go in and kill this hole. And like I said, these Hectors, by shooting this one Hector with the shield, it should have pulled these 2 or 3 to you. If it hasn't, then you can always just give it one shot and then defend and kill it. But make sure the Hectors are gone, of course. Then kill the next hole, right here, the next closest one, and then go back and defend. And then just repeat. Just repeat until you get to, get the next hole, and then defend. And there's 2 there. So you want to kill the gold one first if you have the golds, of course. And then defend, and then you can pull the queen whenever you feel comfortable, but usually I like to have at least a couple holes dead before I pull the queen, and then you can kill the queen, whether it be back in the corner, or just pull her through a building, or just there's different ways to attack the queen. But the one thing you do have to be aware of is just being careful of the Retariuses, because they can grab you. But that's the benefit of having like a monster or a ranger stringer, because you can shoot it once and it'll let go of you if you can actually hit it. If it's on the other side of the web, you can't hit it, unfortunately. But yeah, it's mainly, this mission is all about pulling in a very set manner, and in a certain order. So so just to recap once again, 2 Hectors at the start will come down here to this intersection, kill them when they're at this intersection and not any further away, and then have the air raider fly to the crane up there. And well, actually, before you do that, before you have the air raider fly to the crane, shoot that Hector once with the machine gun and pull the Hectors to you and kill them when they're close to you. Don't kill them out there. Then have the air raider go to the crane and satellite 2 holes, get in the helicopter, fly away fast, and then have them defend. And once they defend, go back to the location as air raider, satellite 2 more holes, and then defend. And then after that, you probably can kill a Retarius, or you can pull a queen, do whatever you feel comfortable with next. And if you don't have the air raider, then of course, same thing with the Hectors, the same start, but then just kill this hole, defend, kill that hole, defend, just take it a little bit slower, and then kill it at Retarius when it's down there. And I think you'll find that mission a lot more simple. The only negative is when you're playing with random people, you have to kind of coordinate. It's very important to coordinate, or at least point out what you're going to attack, but it can be pretty tough on higher difficulties. But there is a better way that actually I don't take credit for. I was shown this way, which I'm going to show here now as we actually do it in a speed up video, and then I'll talk through it. So I'll see you in this video here. Alright, here we are in the actual clip. So right at the start, I'm going to beacon the holes. So 1, 2, 3. I'm going to beacon the Retariuses. 1 right there, 3, and then I'm going to beacon the Gold Queen. And then there's one more hole I beacon later. If you don't have as many beacons as the 10 beacon gun, then you can just get away with beaconing the holes and the Queen, and you can always beacon the Retariuses later. But right here, we're gonna roll to the other, or go to the other side of the map. Unfortunately, I have to roll, but I actually do go back and beacon one of the Hectors, because we were deciding if we should kill the Hector there or not. We just decided not to. You don't really have to, but you can, to kill the 2 Hectors, like I was mentioning before earlier. So now we're just going the long way around the outside of the map to the opposite side of the map, where there's a nice view from a water, like a nice open area with water, and then there's buildings in front, so it kind of uses as like a shield for us. So the enemies have to walk through the buildings to get to us, which makes it slower and gives us more time to defend. And it's a nice open area, so that when they do get there, and our beacon, the gold hole right there, so that when they do get there, it's easier to use the Zexar guns and just defend with the Proteus and so forth. But if at all possible, you want to not destroy as many buildings as possible, because the buildings will help you, at least for the beginning part of the wave. So right now we actually have an issue with, for some reason, the beacon on the Gold Queen's not working. So I just had to re-beacon the Gold Queen again for him, because he couldn't seem to get a lock on it for some reason. So sometimes that does happen. I think it happened once before when we were messing around with beacon guns, but I fortunately had another beacon, so I could just re-beacon him. Like right there, I'm trying to point it out to him to see if he can actually find it, but it just doesn't seem to lock onto him for some reason, even though I could see the beacon on the actual enemy. But as far as what you want to attack first, it's kind of depends. Like since we had such a good view on the Gold Queen, we decided to attack the Gold Queen first. So, and for at least for Inferno with 2 people, I'm not sure if it works with 3 or 4 as far as how many you would need, but you only need 4 Leviathans to kill the thing. So we were able to get the shots off, and it died before we even got here. Before it even got here. So, but even if it wasn't, that's why you have the Fencer as his secondary weapon. Would take, you know, a defense weapon where he can fight close range. To fight the Gold Queens, they're really not that bad. Like even with Ranger, it's really not that bad. As long as you just have a Gold Queen, just one, and that's it, and it's on a flat open space, you can just pretty much circle strafe around it and pretty much stay away from harm. So here we go, we shot 2 missiles first, and then he gets 2 more before it even gets close to us, and it's dead. And then I'm going to lay down my machine gun, well I already laid down my machine gun turrets up front, so that when any stragglers come, like the golds come, or any of the ants come, then we can just use that to defend. But he switches to his dash catapult setup now. He has the Blastal Spear and the dash twin spears as his secondary weapons, and 2 Leviathans, and I have those Zexar guns, the beacon gun, and then the Proteus. I chose a Proteus. You can also use the revolver custom, or just, you know, Bagaltas. They're not too bad. So just in between each defenses, just reload your Zex guns or whatever, you know, whatever machine guns you have, and just place them out again and defend for the second time. Sometimes Hectors will come, which is a good thing. So if you do see Hectors coming towards you, you want to wait until they get closer to you so you don't pull anything else with it. So I think 1 or 2 Hectors come with the first hit here. Sometimes they're a little bit slow getting to you as well, unfortunately. But then the next thing you'll do is you'll just the Fencer will try and lock onto a nest and destroy that. And usually with the blast radius of the Leviathan, you can do quite a bit of damage and kill most of the enemies around it. You can even try, if you have more people to defend. We only had 1 person to defend, but if you had, you know, a couple defenders and 1 Fencer, you could just have the Fencer just, you know, raining in as many missiles as you feel comfortable with, and then defend. Which we've done that in the past too with 4 people. So you can just keep going, but you know, we decided to take it a little bit slower, be more careful. These pink shot Hectors are ridiculous on Infernal. They shoot like machine gun speed with those missiles. They're really rough enemies. But fortunately we still have a lot of buildings up, so we're pretty good. I think I finally got my Proteus, so I'm going to throw that and then just reload my Zexar guns and defend again. So now he's going to try and attack the gold nest as least as best as possible, trying to lock onto that gold nest. It's kind of hard to see. I guess I didn't know the Proteus yet. It's kind of hard to see sometimes where you're actually locking on, but yeah, pretty much as long as you kind of have a general idea of where it's at, you can look at it at the beginning and see where they're at. But the benefit of shooting that gold nest first is you won't have to deal with as many golds, because they will probably be dead from that blast. And now we're just defending some of the wasps that came. There's really not too many, because you know, there's so many die from that tempest. It's pretty crazy. So I'm trying to do my best just to defend without hitting him, obviously, but also not hitting any buildings, so that we don't. Because as you can see, I mean, it really helps. It really helps with defending, especially if you're a ranger or an air raider class that doesn't have the ability to dash around or fly around. Using the buildings to your advantage is really important, and that makes missions that don't have buildings at all really tough to deal with for those classes. These greens are so fast, it's ridiculous. I just hide in the Proteus like a child because I can't fight them. And here comes another Hector, so we can just I decide to use my Zexar guns just to stun lock him. But really, if it wasn't for this, wasn't for that one Hector, I mean, you can get away with low health. He dropped his health down to 7,000, I dropped my health down to 7,000, and we didn't have to get hit there either. I mean, if I was more careful, I could have easily just defended with the Proteus. But you don't really need a lot of health for this strategy. It's really nice. Now we're going to attack the Retarius next on the right side after we kill this Hector. And then a bunch of greens will come, and then same idea, just the Retarius on the left, and then a bunch of greens will come, and then the last nest. Like I said, I don't take credit for this strategy. Someone showed it to me, and I was very impressed. And it always seems to go really smoothly, even when you have lower health, or even with a random group. Sometimes it's not too big of a deal as long as you let them know what's going on. And you know, you're beaconing things and bringing a Leviathan. He actually does get caught there, but it's really not a huge deal. He's able to free himself. If not, I was going to free him with the Proteus. And then we just and as you'll notice, the greens take a long time to get to you when they have billions. It seems like they're so fast that their AI can't seem to handle to get through billions very easily, and they just really get stuck a lot. So I also noticed, it seemed like the auto acquisition cannon on the helicopter doesn't seem to have the programming to understand how to hit greens, because I think the greens were added to the game after the game was made in DLC. So we were gonna do a Tempest there, but just for fun. But we decided just to do quicker, just shoot with the Proteus to destroy them all. Because the Tempest definitely would kill them all in one shot. Because the greens actually will not come to you if you don't attack near them. So that's kind of nice to know. But yeah, now we're starting to lose buildings, but it doesn't matter as much. I think the Hectors did most of that damage. But yeah, this mission works really well with this strategy, and like I said, there's Leviathans for each level. Well, maybe not for every level, but for most of the level difficulties. So it works on hardest as well, the Leviathan being a lower level weapon, so that's kind of nice. So yeah, give this strategy a try. This is a really fun, smooth way to do this mission. And thanks for watching. See you next time.